Hello and welcome to another brand new episode of What the FinTech, a podcast from the team behind FinTech Futures and the Banking Technology magazine. My name is Paul Hindle, editor at FinTech Futures, and for this special episode of the show, we're going to change things up slightly and shine the spotlight on a big milestone for FinTech Futures, and that is the upcoming 25th anniversary of our annual Banking Tech Awards ceremony, which is due to take place this year on Wednesday, 4th December in London. If you're not already aware, FinTech Futures has been hosting the Banking Tech Awards every year in London since 1999 to celebrate the best and brightest in banking technology and fintech from around the world. The Banking Tech Awards is one of the most prestigious awards ceremonies in the industry and has been at the forefront of celebrating the marriage of banking and technology, recognizing excellence and innovation in the use of IT and financial services worldwide, and of course, the people who make it happen. The 2023 Banking Tech Awards ceremony saw nearly 500 guests join us at the Royal Lancaster Hotel in London, and this year promises to be our biggest celebration to date as we hit that big 25-year milestone. If you'd like to get involved with the awards, nominations are currently open for companies worldwide. We have 50 categories to choose from, including Banking Tech Project Awards, Excellence in Tech Awards, and Leadership Awards. So if you'd like to showcase and acknowledge your pioneering projects, technologies, and leadership initiatives that are shaping the future of finance, then this is your chance to do so. If you'd like to submit a nomination for the Banking Tech Awards, I'll leave a link in the description of this podcast episode to our dedicated awards website, where you can find out more about the awards themselves, view all the categories, and of course, enter for your chance to win. Table bookings for the ceremony itself will be open later this year as well, so keep an eye out on the FinTech Futures website and socials for news about that. This year, the awards ceremony will be taking place again at the spectacular 5-star Royal Lancaster Hotel, where you can expect glitz, glamour, games, live music, entertainment, delicious foods, and plenty of drinks. It's definitely a night not to be missed, so make sure to save that date again, Wednesday, the 4th of December, Banking Tech Awards in London. Off the back of the success of the Banking Tech Awards, we've also branched out to run the Banking Tech Awards USA for our growing US audience. And that ceremony was held recently in New York last month. So I'll also leave a link in the description below for you to check out the winners from that. And of course, please do keep an eye out for the future iterations as we continue to go forward with those awards as well. And in case that's not enough, we've also got our PayTech Awards USA ceremony coming later in the year as well, to celebrate the most revolutionary and impactful payment technology companies and individuals in the United States. I'll leave another link in the description for more information about that. And the nominations for those awards are still open as we chat now. I think the closing date will be mid-July, so be sure to get those in if you're interested in being considered for an award for our PayTech Awards USA ceremony. As always, our awards are judged by a panel of independent experts who evaluate each entry based on its impact, innovation, and user experience. And for this episode of the podcast, I'm joined by one of our returning Banking Tech Awards judges, Sudip Dasgupta, Chief Technology Officer at UK digital bank Monument, to chat more about the upcoming event, as well as to learn more about Monument's tech strategy amid what is a rapidly changing technological landscape in the financial services arena. So, without further ado, Sudip, thank you so much for joining me today, and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Excellent. Yeah, it's great to have you here. And just to get started, would you like to quickly let us know a bit more about yourself then and Monument?
Yeah, sure. So I've now been with Monument for just over 5 years. So it was shortly after it was founded. And it was sort of the vision for the new bank was to basically create something specifically for the mass affluent clients. And we sort of wanted to create tailored products and propositions for this community. And since we've built out our technology strategy to launch the bank completely on the cloud, and I went through with the team, we went through the whole licensing process, pre-application, mobilization, and we are now in operations over the last 2.5 years.
Excellent. Sounds great. And again, great to have you here. Thanks so much for taking the time out to speak with us today. And we'll chat a bit more about Monument a bit later, but starting, as I mentioned, with the Banking Tech Awards. I mean, you've been a judge for the Banking Tech Awards before. How have you found the experience of taking part from a judge's perspective, and given your role as CTO? I mean, how inspiring is it for you seeing all the positive technological activity happening in the space?
It's been awesome, Paul. And I've been judging for 2 years now. And it's great to do a little bit to give back to the industry. But when I've gone through each one of those various different categories I've judged, each one of those stories have been so inspiring, right? And one thing is for sure, innovation has no specific geography. I've seen some of the really excellent submissions from the Americas, UK, Europe, Asia, and Australia. So there are people who are doing really great stuff all throughout the world. And it's really good to be able to sort of take inspiration from those and then also be in a position where you can help judge some of those categories.
No, sounds great. And how important would you say events like this are then as well to really shine a light on some of the great work and innovations that are happening in the industry like you've mentioned there?
I think there are two parts to this. As an industry, I think we should be recognizing the teams, the firms who are really doing some great work. It provides great encouragement to actually those people who are trying to break new ground and sort of innovate within this banking technology space. For the firms themselves, on the other hand, it's great recognition for the work they have done, because most of the time, like, these innovations start off as ideas. There is some amount of risk involved. So when you're treading the untrodden path, so to say. So it's great for the teams to actually get acknowledgement for the good work they've done.
I mean, Monument itself picked up an award as well last year, Best Use of Cloud. What was it like being a winner on the night?
Oh, it was great. We've been at it twice. We submitted our nomination the year before, and we won highly commended. So, which was great, but we've been sort of expanding our use of the cloud throughout the next year as well. And when we submitted our nomination, it was great to actually finally win it. And you could hear from the screams from our table, like really everybody was very excited about winning it. There were big smiles all around, a tremendous sense of pride within the team. So yeah, it was really great.
Excellent. Yeah, and obviously, alongside the awards themselves, one of the big benefits of these events, as well as getting banking and fintech professionals from across the country together in one room to network and share ideas. I mean, given the rapid evolution of banking technology, then digital transformation, and of course, new emerging technologies, how useful is it for you to speak with banks and fintechs of all sizes from different areas of not only the UK, but other countries as well across the globe about your respective strategies?
Very important, Paul. So Monument is a cloud-based bank, right? And then as part of delivering our overall platform, we work with a large number of innovative fintech SaaS providers. So whenever we are at these type of events, like, it's great to see the innovation that some of the other fintech providers are sort of coming to the market with. So it's a great opportunity for us to identify new potential partners. So because what we tend to do is to sort of then see how we can make that part of our overall proposition and deliver value for our mass affluent clients. We are always looking for new opportunities to incorporate more innovative platforms into our ecosystem to strengthen our client proposition. So yeah, we're looking forward to the next one as well.
Hi everyone, a note from the FinTech Futures team. Just a quick reminder for all our Paytech enthusiasts out there, the deadline for the Paytech Awards USA is fast approaching. You have until July 12th to submit your entries and showcase your innovations in the payment technology space. Don't miss out on this opportunity to get the recognition you deserve. Visit informaconnect.com/paytech-awards-USA for more details and to submit your application. That's all for now. Keep innovating and good luck.
Taking a look at a Monument then, I mean, being a digital first bank, as you've mentioned, adopting new technologies and meeting shifting customer expectations must be front and center. I mean, how have you approached your own digital strategy then to remain agile and compete with the bigger industry players?
Right. I think agility and speed of delivery have always been key tenets of our architecture and our delivery methodology. Our cloud-based API-enabled architecture provides us a lot of advantages to provide that agility and speed. For example, it takes us less than 30 minutes to actually make changes to our products. This has been very helpful in the last year, especially in a volatile interest rate market. For example, again, like in 1 week, we changed our interest rate 3 times in response to what the market was doing. Another example, introduced notice accounts as a completely new product. We completed the full concept to completion cycle when the products were actually available for the clients on their app. The whole process took about 12 weeks end to end. And I think it's that platform and the architecture that we have designed that allows this level of agility. It carries through to what we call our prosperity services. If you have the Monument app, you will see a whole range of lifestyle services that we offer. And new providers can be added in under 30 minutes without any downtime at all.
Leading on to my next question, I mean, you secured some fresh funding, Series B rounds last year for a younger bank like Monument. What's it been like trying to scale then in the current climate, given what have been relatively tough macroeconomic conditions, and how have you looked to adapt to ensure that continued growth?
So the architecture has helped, right? So making sure that we have this cloud-based architecture, which is powered by microservices and is fully API enabled, that's been key. We already talked about the ability to change products, change rates very quickly. We are also continuing to introduce new products. We mentioned Notice, and there's more along the way, but I'm going to keep the suspense on that one. Also, we are going through our variation of permission with the regulators to be able to do more as a bank. So there is quite a lot of change that we are planning to do. We have introduced a new service called Network, which allows all our clients to aggregate their various assets and liabilities and goes beyond what open banking provides into a one common single view, which is really helpful for people looking to sort of manage their finances. And as I said, more products on the way.
That sounds great. You'll have to keep us posted of those as and when they come out. So one of the big changes as well, I mean, the bank recently rolled out a new technology division as well, Monument Technology, which essentially aims to provide a bank-in-a-box platform for other financial institutions to utilize. I mean, can you tell us a little bit more about that then, and the role your partners such as Mambu, Persistent, and I think AWS play in that as well?
Sure. So when we built Monument, we built Monument's technology platform for Monument Bank. But over the years, what we've seen is that there is a lot of interest, not just from the UK, but from overseas and from different banks in different parts of the world who were interested in licensing our technology. So we then thought that this is a great opportunity to actually sort of monetize the value we have created in our technology platform. So we've created Monument Technology Limited, and more recently have actually signed heads of terms with Ecology Building Society to basically use the Monument Technology platform to deliver the new digital banking platform for them. We use a lot of the existing technology and service providers in Monument Technology Limited that we did for the bank. It's AWS for the cloud, Mambu as our core banking engine, Salesforce for the client servicing platform. And we are continuing to use a lot of the additional service providers in this ecosystem as part of that productized bank platform that we want to deliver for Ecology and other set of providers. Now, what we are also trying to do is, the good thing about the architecture is that it uses a lot of microservices that is quite portable. So we use Kubernetes as part of the platform. So it is actually portable across other cloud platforms. But so far, all our clients have been okay to, like whoever our new prospects also have been okay working with AWS as the key cloud platform.
Yeah, it just seems like banking as a service seems to be a more popular choice now for fintechs. I mean, is there a wider trend among challenger banks now then to create captive technology arms to try and tap banking as a service as an alternative income stream?
Yeah, so there are other banks also who've built a good banking platform and are looking for opportunities to monetize it. But I think here's where Monument is slightly different. We are actually branching off our code base from Monument Bank to Monument Technology Limited to allow us to sort of pursue different objectives. Now, Monument Technology will continue to evolve the platform in its strategy to deliver an end-to-end banking solution for institutions in the UK and overseas. This allows it to act independently outside of Monument Bank. So the other customers of Monument Technology Limited would never get the feeling that they are like a second-class citizen when Monument Bank will always be driving the product backlog. Monument Bank, however, will own its own version of the code base and will continue to evolve that as we continue our journey to be the bank of choice for the mass affluent community in the UK.
I guess who are you kind of targeting with this offering then? I mean, as you mentioned there, is the aim to keep this part of the bank, or would the aim be to eventually spin this off going forward?
It's already an independent, a separate organization. The idea is like it will become fully independent at some point. And right now, for example, we are targeting existing banks and building societies in the UK, new banks in the UK and overseas. We're going through the funding round for Monument Technology Limited, and it's really exciting. Steve, our CEO for Monument Technology Limited, he was previously with a core banking company. And he speaks how that firm was always reaching out to new customers to actually sell the product. We, on the other hand, have had customers calling in, even into our client servicing line, to discuss how they could take on the Monument technology platform. So especially interestingly, when we announced the heads of terms of ecology, within the next week, we had a call from a COO of another bank. And I thought, like, okay, there must be some problems with the payments because he wanted to speak to somebody in Monument technology. Our payment message is not going through properly. But no, like, the gentleman just wanted to discuss how they could adopt the Monument technology platform.
No, exciting times. I mean, obviously you've mentioned ecology there, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask, do you have any more potential clients in the pipeline now at the moment that you could tell us about?
Yes, there are a few. The majority of them are in the UK, but there are some overseas institutions as well. Unfortunately, we are under NDA, so unable to say much more. But yes, there are quite a few different proposals in play at the moment.
Excellent. That sounds exciting. And obviously do keep us posted on the progress of that. I'll be excited to see how that goes for you moving forward. I mean, looking back at the awards, and we've got a number of awards covering best use of tech in banking, best digital initiative, top innovation as well. I mean, what new tech developments in general in banking are you most excited about at the moment? And is there anything in particular that you're focused on?
I would say how we scale. So when we laying out forecasts during our initial mobilization, we were setting out a certain target. So what we set out to do in 5 years, we've already hit those numbers in terms of clients and balance sheet and sort of say balances in 2.5 years. So now it's like, okay, we're going at twice the speed that we said we would. Well, how do we sort of make the platform go faster, scale faster, bring on more people, bring on more clients, and how do we expand our product offering? How do we introduce more AI in our operations, right? So we have some amount of artificial intelligence already, but it's like looking at what are the other areas we can leverage artificial intelligence within our bank to actually deliver the scale we are looking for.
AI has definitely been one of the major talking points on the podcast as well this year. Yeah. So we've done a fair few episodes on that. But to wrap things up here, I mean, what do you think the near-term future then looks like for the UK's banking scene, and what's next for Monument then going forward?
Within industry initiatives, I think the confirmation of pay has been a very good addition, right? So that's been a success in actually helping people overcome fraud that's out there. The other one, which is kicking off in early stages, I think the version 2 of open banking is open finance, right? Open banking is just bringing certain banking institutions. But what if we could bring everything into a common view, right? And everybody's adhering to a common API specification to actually provide a holistic view of people's wealth. We've gone a long way to actually do that within Monument's net worth. But I think as an industry, I think it's right for something like open finance to lay out a specification that can help drive standardization. That's one. The other is security. So is the one thing which we continue to sort of make sure that we are always on top of. And there's a lot of bad actors out there, something we have learned. So it's always about how you stay on top of that, make sure your platform is absolutely rock solid to make sure your clients are protected, right? That's the one thing I think we'll see more and more on security in the industry and supporting practices. In our future, if I just look forward, there is obviously the expanding our portfolio of banking products. I mentioned our variation of permission and how we can increase our proposition through our prosperity and lifestyle services to help clients feel they're more in control when it comes to managing their wealth. I mentioned our variation of permission, which we're going through with a regulator to be able to offer more financial products. And then finally, the other big area of work is Monument Technology Limited, how we sort of take that into a fully multi-tenanted type capability where we are supporting a large number of institutions on this really cool technology stack.
Well, thanks again, Sudip, for chatting with us today. To close out the podcast, we have our now infamous FinTech jails. This is where we ask for an industry term, buzzword, or trend that you've seen or heard enough of. Or, of course, you can advocate to free one of the previously incarcerated terms. So what's your selection for this week?
I had a look at your list, Paul, and it looks like the FinTech jail is already quite full, and I don't want to add any further inmates anyway. However, I would like to break out a couple of them. So I'd like to break out multi-tenanted and microservices. Both of them, I think, are very key to Monument at the moment. So yeah, my vote's for taking them out.
Excellent. No, that's fine. We can definitely be lenient this week and let's see who the inmates are for this week. I mean, you mentioned that you're obviously key to what you're doing at Monument. I mean, I think you've mentioned them previously in the episode, but I mean, if you're going to wrap that up, I mean, how would you say you're looking to tap into both of these and how are they working for Monument?
So the microservices area is essentially the core of our platform. We work with a lot of software as a service platforms, but then what we have built is an integration and orchestration engine on microservices that essentially connects to each one of these third-party SaaS providers. We've sort of handpicked each one of those SaaS providers based on the quality of their API catalogs and the overall service they provide. And on our side, we are then using microservices to orchestrate all the workflows that any sort of interaction with clients are coming down through various different channels. So, which is why microservices is very close to my heart. And the other one is multi-tenanted. And I think this is a more recent thing. I think with Monument Technology Limited now going out to multiple customers, I think there is the need to have the multi-tenanted capability on our platform has become that much more. I think the fundamentals foundation of the architecture is solid, right? And I think we'll get there. But I think just the fact that this is a new requirement that we'll have to sort of address it makes that much more important for us.
Excellent. Yeah, no, very, very convincing argument there. And I'm more than happy, as I said, to be extra lenient this week and release 2 terms from the jail. It is, as you mentioned, getting quite full in there now. So hopefully they've done some hard time and that they're rehabilitated and ready to come back into the spotlight there for you to use. So that's multi-tenanted and microservices released this week. And Sudip, thank you again so much for joining us for the podcast today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Paul. Take care.
Well, that's all we have time for this episode. Thanks, of course, to Sudip for joining me. As for FinTech Futures, you can find us online at fintechfutures.com, on X at FinTech Futures, and of course on LinkedIn. If you like this podcast and our other episodes, you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, or your favorite podcasting service to get notified about future episodes. Thanks as well to Arama for editing this podcast. You can check them out at arama.tv. As always, thank you very much for your support. And we'll see you soon for another episode of What the FinTech. But until then, goodbye.